Now let's study about a new topic, that is JavaScript. Okay. So JavaScript is a programming language of HTML and the web. Okay. So programming makes computer do what you want them to do. JavaScript is really very easy to learn and to even give coding for it. So basically what JavaScript does is defines the behavior of the such an element or such what should be done on a click or something like that. It will tell what behavior should be done or initiated, right? So when we hear this word JavaScript, why should you study this JavaScript? Basically, JavaScript is one of the three languages all web developers must learn. The first language is the HTML to define the content of a web page, and the second is the CSS to specify the layout of web page, and the third is the JavaScript to program the behavior of web page. Okay. Now in this tutorial we will learn JavaScript from the basic to the depth. Now let's see why to use JavaScript. Okay, so the basic concept what I'm going to tell is why to use JavaScript in HTML. So there are 4 points which I'm going to say. The first point is the JavaScript can change your HTML content. Okay. The second thing which we are going to see is the JavaScript can change your style, that is the HTML style, that is the CSS. Okay, and the next one is the HTML. It can change your HTML attributes. Okay, and the last one is it can validate data. Okay, so when I come to HTML content, I already have told you some examples like get element by ID, inner HTML, right? So those all concepts come in HTML content. And when it's about the style, as I have told you, CSS. So this JavaScript, we have at least made of 1 or 2 lines in some or the other place in our HTML and CSS parts. Okay, so now we'll understand this in depth. Okay, from the beginning to the advanced. Okay, from each and every example, I will give an explanation, a definition which is really presentable, and then even an example. Okay, the main two use of JavaScript is the first thing is to define an behavior. Right? As I've already mentioned you, it normally defines an behavior. Okay, don't forget that. And the second main use of it is used to validate the data which is present or which the user is going to give as an input. So these are the two most important things. So whenever you come to hear the word JavaScript, or whenever you think that you should make use of JavaScript in your website, please do remember these 2 points. Okay, the first point is it defines the behavior, and the second thing is it is made use to validate the data. Okay. For understanding this JavaScript or for writing a neat and really very clear code, you should always know what is basically going behind or when you run your code. A proper understanding of this topic would help you write much better code. So this guide to JavaScript engines which help you to understand JavaScript engine performance and some of their most important features. So by this you would have known that we are going to talk about JavaScript engines. Okay, so I'll tell you what is going on behind the code, and then I will even tell you some of the JavaScript engines which are there. Okay, so now let's go. So JavaScript engines are programs that convert JavaScript code into lower level or machine code. Okay, so this is the first point which we are supposed to know. Okay, when you hear the word JavaScript, is first thing which is for which it is used is to convert the code into a lower level or machinable code, machine code. Okay, so JavaScript engine follows ECMA script standards. So what these standards do, these standards define how the JavaScript engine should work and what feature it should have. Okay, in general, higher level languages like JavaScript, that is JS, or the language like C or Fortran, such high level languages are abstracted from machine language JavaScript. Okay, machine language. Okay, and then the JavaScript is much farther abstracted from machine level than C or a C++ or something like that. C and C++ are in comparison much closer to the hardware among other regions, okay, making them much faster than other higher level languages. Okay. Compilation and interpretation are some of the general approaches used in code implementation by programming language. So here the most important two things is compilation and interpretation. Okay. And now let's see what is this compilation and interpretation. Okay. A compiler is a program. Okay, a compiler is a program that transforms a computer code written in a programming language. So what is the basic meaning of this? That they translate, okay, translate a source code from high level programming language to a lower level programming language. To low level. Okay, so this is what a compiler does. Okay, so when it is of a high level to low level programming language, it basically means an mission code or mission level language. Okay, so this is what it is done doing over here. Okay, and the second thing, that is the interpretation. An interpreter. Okay, an interpreter directly executes, that is performs instructions written in a programming language. Okay, so it basically performs the instructions which is written in the programming language. So this is what an interpreter does. While interpretation and compilation are the two of the principles by which programming languages are generally implemented, they are not totally unrelated. Okay, note this, as most interpreting systems also perform some translation work just like compilers. Okay, JavaScript is usually categorized as interpreted, although it is technically compiled. Please do remember this word. Whenever you say this word, you should say the sentence, you should say it completely. JavaScript is usually categorized as interpreted, although it is technically compiled. Okay, so JavaScript is a just in time. Okay, just in time compilation which occurs during runtime. So JavaScript is told as just-in-time compilation which always takes place during the runtime. Okay, JavaScript engines are embedded in browsers and web servers such as Node.js. I hope you would have heard this word. Okay, so in like that Node.js to allow runtime compilation and execution of JavaScript code. Okay, so this is all about the JavaScript engines. Let's go again or go back or a revision part. Okay, so the first thing about the JavaScript, it is converts the code into lower or mission. Okay, so please do remember that, and it is all based on the ECMA script standard. What does it do? That is, it just compare or do something like that. And the high level languages like the JSE, Fortran are abstracted. Okay, so when it is ECMA script, it always tells that the JavaScript, how the JavaScript engine should work and all the features and all. So the main two things in JavaScript are the compilation and interpretation, also known as the compiler and the interpreter. Okay, so they are, when it is about the compiler, translates a source code from high level to low level, and when it is about the interpreter, it just performs the instruction written. Okay, so JavaScript is also known as just in time, which runs in the runtime only, and it is mainly used or such as the engines are embedded in the browsers and web servers such as the Node.js to allow runtime compilation. Now let's see some of the popular JavaScript engines which are there. Okay, okay, so the first one, that is Google's V8. Okay, so this is the first engine and it was coded or developed by the Google itself, so that's the reason its name is Google. So V8, and the second one is that Chakra. So these are the engines which are even present now. Okay, and the third one is Spider Monkey. Okay, and the fourth one is Reno, and the fifth one is Nash Horn. Okay, and the next one is JavaScript. Next one is KJS, and the next one is benchmark, and the last one is TLDR. Okay, in the most basic term, it is known as the JavaScript engines that take a source code. Okay, so these are the JavaScript engines that are present now and which are widely used also. So the most important one is the Google V8. So among these, the first four are really very useful, or it's really very used by many. The Google's V8, the Chakra, the Spider Monkey, and the Reno. So okay, and these three are the others which are present, but only few prefer it or something like that. Okay, so these are the total 9 which are totally present almost. Okay, so these are the Java engines which are present and with the help of which we can do things. Okay. Okay, as I told, why we should learn JavaScript, or what is the use of JavaScript, I noted 4 points, right? In the same way, even that will do something in browser side. So now let's see what does it do for browser side. Okay. So here again the 2 points get repeated for which you are supposed to study. The first point is the behavior change, or defines the behavior of what it should be done, and the second thing is validate data. Okay, so if you see, these two are totally based on browser sites. Okay, so we just give a coding and rest all of the running parts are done behind. For example, I'm giving an on click function. Okay, so on the click of such a thing, this page should be get fetched, right? So we just give a name, but that image is fetched by the browser itself. It searches for that image and then it fetches it, right? So in such a way, these two are the things which JavaScript provides for the browser side. So please do note it. There were 4 things when I told for what you are supposed to use. It changes the HTML style, content, and then I think I even told about the validate data, and I think I even told something else, the fourth one also. Okay, and when it comes on browser side, only these two were really there for browser side, only for browser side. It sees for behavior and for the validate data. So these are the 2 things it concentrates on browser side. So now let's go to the next topic, which is really very important. Now let's see what are the IDE and the editors, lightweight editors, which we can use for JavaScript. IDE and editors. Okay, so first let's go for the IDE. I will tell the IDEs which are present or which can be used for creating a JavaScript. Okay, let's go. So the first thing which can be used is the Microsoft Visual Studio. Okay, so this is the first thing which is really very comfortable when it comes about the IDE or the JavaScript. The second thing is WebStorm. Okay, and the third thing is Atom. Fourth is NetBeans. Then it even comes the Komodo Edit. Okay, then Intel IJ IDEA, that also comes in. Then PHP Storm, and even Cloud 9 IDE. So these are just a few. Okay, there are many of them. So these are the top most which I used. Okay, so these are even used in industries also, and especially when it comes about the Visual Studio, it is really very vastly used. But the basic thing which is here, it just takes a wide amount of space. So apart from that, these are the mostly used IDEs. So when the JavaScript comes into pictures, so even you can make use of this and practice how it is going on and something like that. Okay, now as I told about the IDE, let's even see the editors which can be used. Okay, so the first example I would like to give is the Sublime, which we are already using for HTML, CSS, and even will use it for the JavaScript also. I even told you the advantages of Sublime, using a Sublime also. So that is really very useful. The second thing is the Storm, and you can even make use of brackets. Okay, and the Vim, or let's even make use of Emacs. and more. Okay, even in editors there are many and many. So the most of the things which is used is these three: Sublime, Auto, brackets, and vim, each and everything. Okay, so it is totally dependent on the organization and the developer who designs it, right? So these are the editors and the IDE which are there for JavaScript. Okay, so you can make use of them, and we are already you making use of the Sublime, the lightweight editor, with all the most of the advantages which we have. Okay, we have even discussed them in the HTML section also. So even now we are going to make use of the Sublime itself and going to make develop our coding or do some kind of website or something like that with the help of JavaScript only. Okay, now let's go to the next part, or let's go for the beginning of JavaScript. For going further, first we should know what is the syntax for JavaScript. Okay. Okay, so now let's see what's the syntax for declaration. So for declaring a variable in JavaScript, you are always supposed to make use of the keyword where. So let's take I'm initializing or declaring a variable like name. So where name and then is equals to, as it's a variable, or you can there's no need for this. If you are giving a string something like this, then you make use of a curly inverted commas. So let's take it as ram and then a semicolon, or else like this also. Okay, so you are supposed to make use of the keyword where. So this is static or this is mandatory to declare a variable. Okay, so JavaScript syntax is a set of rules how JavaScript programs are constructed. Okay, so Java computer program is a list of instructions to be executed by the computer. In a programming language, these program instructions are called statements. Now let's see what is this statement. So this is the first. I hope you got this is the declaration itself. Okay, so there's nothing more important. You can even give like this where, and let's say some and number one, then space plus number two. So each and everything is possible. Here a normal declaration, but the static word or the mandatory statement or mandatory keyword which should be present is the where. Now let's go for the next part, that is JavaScript statements. Okay, so in HTML, JavaScript statements are instructions to be executed. Okay, by the web browser. Okay, who will execute? The web browser. Okay, JavaScript statement tells the browser to write. Let's take an example of hello dolly. Okay, so for that we'll make use of the inner HTML. I hope you do remember it. We'll just go back for it again. Okay, so we have, let's take an example, and please do remember, for writing a JavaScript we'll always write it inside the script tag. We have already done this. Okay, now let's go for it and let's do it again, and there will be a recap for you also done. Okay, now we'll take in p tag, and then we'll, with the help of the get element by id and with the help of the inner HTML, we'll display a content. Okay, let's go. Okay, we'll just delete these codes. We don't need it right now, right? We'll just go back to the basic structure of our HTML. Okay. Okay, now let's go. So now what I'm going to do is that inside the body tag, I'm going to create a p tag first. Okay. Okay, and let's give an ID. Let's give the ID as, let's take it as like, okay, as it's a demo, right? So JS demo. So I'm not going to write anything in this. No, there will be no content between these elements, the closing. So what's an element? Just recap it again. Something which has the closing tag, opening tag, and a content between it. So now we'll not give any content. So we'll just keep it empty with the help of the inner.html and with the help of get element by ID. We'll give, or we'll just place some content there. Okay, so for that I will create open a script tag. Okay, so its type will be text or JavaScript itself. Okay, inside this I will write document dot get element by ID. So inside this ID or inside the inverted comma, I will write JS demo. Just copy paste it. Okay, and now we'll write dot inner HTML. Okay, HTML will be in uppercase. Okay, is equals to now the content which you want to just display inside. Okay, so I will write as I told you, hello Dolly. Okay, now when I run this, the P tag will have this. Okay, for that difference, to see the difference, we'll even have another P tag so that we can know that this is below this, something like that. Okay, so in this I write this. Okay, so below this you will see a content hello Dolly. Now let's save this and run this. Okay, see, we got it. If you are not writing that JavaScript content or script tag, it will be not there. The hello dolly will be not present. So let's just cut this. Okay, see. So this is how what. So I've already explained you what is it doing. It's first fetching the element which has the ID or something with. Okay, we are searching by ID, right? ID as JS demo, and inside that it's going for the inner element. So the inner element is empty over here. If there's a content, then that is the inner element. Okay. For P tag or for the tag which has the ID demo, JS demo. So inside that whatever is that, it will be the inner element. So in this inner element, actually it is empty, right? So we are telling, so in that inner element, I want hello Dolly. So that's the reason we got hello Dolly in the output. So this is the first thing, that is the statement which we have covered. Okay, so most JavaScript programs contain many JavaScript statements. Okay, do remember this. The statements are executed one by one in the same order as they are written. Please don't forget this. This will always execute as you have written in the statement. Okay, if you have written for example, let's say if you have written hello Dolly first, then hello Dolly. If you have written something else, then that will be getting executed first. Okay, now this is how it is done, and semicolon separates JavaScript statements. So we just need to add a semicolon at the end of each executable statement. As I have told you, for example, let's take that example of where. I will always write where a is equals to, let's take it as 2. Then it will always be separated with the help of a semicolon. So basically this is a statement. Okay, as we have written here, this is a statement, right? So in the same way, even this is a statement which is separated by the semicolons. Okay, so this is how you should write, and JavaScript ignores multiple spaces. Okay, if you are adding multiple spaces in between, like let's take it like this. So I'm writing where name is equals to done. So now what happens over here is that the JavaScript will ignore the spaces which are available. It don't need any multiple spaces between it. It will just consider this as where name is equals to Ram. It will consider it like this only. Okay, it will not consider that there's a space. No, it will ignore the spaces, or multiple spaces will be ignored over here. A good practice is to put spaces around operators only. Okay, so please do remember that. We'll always write like this: sum is equals to y plus z. So please do remember to give space between here. It's a good programming practice. I have told you, we'll see one by one good programming practice, and always follow indentation rule. So if you see, I will always follow indentation rule. This where is not followed just below the script or the opening tag of the script, but it is given at tab spacing, right? So always follow the programming indentation rules also. Okay. And for best readability, programmers often like to avoid code lines longer than 80 characters. So even please do remember that. Okay. Now let's go to the second or the next topic, that is JS comments. Okay. So JavaScript comments can be used to explain JavaScript code. Okay. And to make it more readable. So this is the first thing. JavaScript comments can also be used to prevent execution. Okay, when testing alternative code. So if you remember over here, I didn't give any comments. I just copy paste, just did control X and V. So even in this place you can give comments. So for single line comments you just need to make use of this. Okay, so I will even mention that. Then just this is enough. Then or else if you even like to do multi-line, then for that you have an slash, then star, then you will have the lines over here, and then again a star and slash. So this will be helpful for multi lines. Okay, so for here what I did first, when I showed you an example for the speed tag without this hello dolly, I just did a cut paste, right? I just cutted it and then again I pasted it. So if you feel no, I should comment this, don't just be a kiddish to work and do cut paste. I didn't show you this comment because I wanted to explain you what is the purpose of it. So now let's see. So when you do like this, it will really not be you will not be able to see the hello dolly over here. Okay, see, you're not able to see the hello dolly. In place of cutting it and then again pasting it, no, will be a good developer or really a well matured developer will make use of the comments also. So there are two types of comments which you can give, that is the single line comment, and then the second one is the multi line comments. For single line, just you need to give two slashes, and for multi-line a slash and a star. Then in between it is like a element. Okay, just consider like an element which has a closing and opening tag and a content. So this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag, and the code of which you are supposed to prevent from execution, that will be the content over here. So the comments are really used to make the JS code really readable, and it even makes use to we'll use to prevent that such code for execution. So as I told you, you can even feel, see, if you would have noticed, two of the code may get same output or just a slant of difference. To find that, developers always make use of this comment. They give both the coding and they will just comment one, they will run the another one, then the first one will be run and the second one will be commented, something like that. So in such a place, multi-line and single line comments can be also used. Okay, this is the purpose of comments. Okay, now let's go to the next most important and most interesting topic in JavaScript, that is JavaScript pop-up boxes. Okay, so if you would have noticed in many of the websites, when you click on a button, you will get an alert that you have clicked on this, on clicking of this will happen, or your form will be get submitted, something like that, right? So such places these pop-up boxes makes use, and you would have even noticed that there are something like you just need to give confirmation, okay or no, something like that. Even in that place this pop-up comes, and the third place, that is that you give input, on a click of something it will ask your name, age, something like that, right? So in such a places these pop-up boxes takes place. So pop-up boxes takes places in three place, that is first one is the alert box, the second one is the confirmation box or the confirm box, okay, and the third one is the prompt box. So now what are this? Let's go one by one. So now let's start with the first one, that is the alert box. Okay. An alert box is often used if you want to make sure information comes through to the user. Okay. When an alert box pops up, the user will have to click OK to proceed. So I've already told you that it gives you some information. For example, if you would have noticed on submit, but as soon as you click on submit, you will get a pop-up like your form has been submitted successfully, right? So and you click on OK. So that's a mandate. You are supposed to click on OK or click on cross, right? So that place it's alert box. It tells you some small information. Your registration form is successful, your order placed successfully, something like that. In that place, this alert box plays through. So for that, our syntax or the main thing which we want to know is, okay, so the keyword window dot and then the keyword alert. This is really very important. Okay, and in this you write the curly braces that we want, what you want to display. For example, successful. Okay, so what's here? I'm telling that in the window we need an alert, and in the alert the text should be this. Okay, now let's even see an example. Okay, so that this window dot alert is a method which can be written without the window prefix also. Okay, please keep this in note. Okay, this window dot alert is a function. Okay, you can even write this without this window keyword also. So now let's see a small example on this. Okay, okay, now let's just delete these codes which we don't need. Okay. Okay, now let's start. Okay, so as it's a JavaScript, we really need the this script tag. Okay, now I'm going to give some editing for this, and then I'm going to have a button. On the click of a button, I'm going to get an alert box which will say, okay, your registration is successful. Okay, let's do something like that. For that, first I will have an heading first, sketch2 alert box. Okay, in this I will next I will have a button. Okay, and let's click. What am I going to do is I'm going to call a function on this click, right? On the click I want the alert, so alert's code will be inside a function. So on click. Now let's don't give any name. I'll give it later. Okay, that's it. And what should be the value which should be in the button? Okay, click me. Okay, and inside the script I'm going to create a function. Okay, function is the function keyword. Okay, always the function should start with the keyword function and then the function name. Okay, and inside this curly braces you can even write window dot alert. Okay, and in this I'll write successful. Okay, or you can even write alert and direct successful. Now let's run this. Before running this, we'll just copy paste this function name on the on click. Okay, with the curly braces, oh sorry, round braces. Okay, what's happening here? I'm telling that on the click of the button, that on the click of this click me, this alert box function should be called. So when it is called, what is happening? Window dot alert is happening. So there will be an alert box which will get appear. Okay, now let's save this and run this. Okay, so alert box, let's click on click me. I got an alert with the message successful. Okay, so let's even see, even here we don't have a cross. Okay, so it's mandatory that you should click on OK itself. Okay, so you can even do it without having this window keyword. Okay. Okay, so this is like this, but the actual function name is window dot alert. You can omit that window keyword, that doesn't matter so big. So with the help of this method, we will get an alert. Okay, this alert will just give you an information. It will not ask you any confirmation, will not ask you any input. It will just tell that your registration is successful, your order is placed, something like that, which will tell you some information or feedback about something which you have done or action which you have done. Okay, so that's the first thing, that's the alert box. Now let's go to the next one, that is the confirmation box. Okay, so a confirmation box, when I say this, first just given take the structure how it will be. There will be a message, then there will be an OK as well as an cancel in it. Okay, so for a confirmation box is often used if you want the user to verify or accept something. Okay, when a confirm box pops up, the user will have to click either OK or cancel. Okay, so these are the two buttons. In the alert, we add OK only. There was no such cancel or cross. But when it comes about the confirm box, there's an OK or cancel which is available. Okay, if the user clicks on the OK, the box returns true. So when you click, there will be something value which returns. Okay, so basically, for example, you're getting in confirmation that, so if you click on, as you clicked on OK, this will be this data will be sent to someone. Are you sure? So if you say yes or OK, then the value will be true for that button. So on clicking on that okay, you will even get something in the below like your registration is successful or your data has been sent, something like that. For that, this true or false value will be taken. And if the user clicks on cancel, the box returns false value. Okay, now even let's see an example for this also. Okay, so for this also we have an method. As we have the syntax as window dot alert for alert, here also we have window dot confirm. Okay, and inside this we'll have some text. So what text will be here? For example, you are writing press a button or are you sure? Okay, we'll always make for go for are you sure. Okay, so this will be there. Even here you can omit this window word. Okay, so in alert as well as in confirm you can omit this word. So now let's see a small example and understand this. Okay, now I'll just keep the just change this name. Okay, I'll write confirm. Okay, so now I already have a already have a button, so on this click I'm going to get a confirmation pop-up box. Okay, now let's go. So for this I have created this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable now. Okay, so I've already told you variable declaration always starts with where. Okay, so for what I've already told you, this returns are true or false, right? So if the value returned is true, then something should get displayed. So for that, to get displayed, so the true value or something to get displayed, that will be stored over here. So let's take it as okay, message. Okay, now let's go for that syntax. Okay, for that we'll write if. Okay, in this true we'll write confirm. Okay, let's write okay, are you sure? Okay, so this will be the next line. Then here we'll write if confirm. See, be very careful. Okay, if are you sure, what is this doing is that you will get an true or false as soon as you click. Okay, so if as soon as you click okay, then sorry, I have written text. Message is equals to you said okay. This will get displayed. Okay, so for this you don't need to any confirm or catch anything, because why? You can even catch this thing by a separate way. So in spite of writing this syntax inside the if you write it out and you store it in some variable and you'll write if, let's take that variable as confirm. Okay, if confirm is equal to true, then this, else another one. But now what are we doing? We are not doing it separately. We are directly putting that confirm statement of confirming that confirm pop-up syntax is directly put in inside the if condition place. So what will happen? The value which is written true or false will directly get fetched over here. So if I'm clicking on OK, it will be true, right? If true, then this, else okay, I'll write you said no. Okay, now what are we going to do? Out of this we are going to make use of a document.get element. Why? Let's write that. Okay, get element okay by ID. So why I have written here? So now when we get this message, we should even display it somewhere, right? So for that, I'm going to create a P tag in the below this button. Okay, so let it be P. Okay, and I'm going to give the ID as demo. So now what I'm going to do, whatever you, if it is a true, then it will say you said okay, else it will say you said no, right? That message, this message will be displayed over here. So this, and I'll write here demo dot inner HTML is equals to, now here I will write message, that is the variable name, because what if you said okay, then the message is you said okay, right? So that you said okay should get displayed. So this message would be called here. Now let's save this and run this. Okay, let's click on click me. Okay, are you sure? Now I'm going to click on OK. You said OK. Now let's click something cancel. You said no. So why is it automatically fetching? Because I have written this inside the if condition. If I would have written it out, like let's take it like this. I have created a variable like where confirm is equals to windows dot confirm and this. Okay, and the variable true or false I will get from there. So in that where confirm, this true will be there. If where confirm is equal to true, then I will say message is equals to you said okay, else the message will be no, or you said no, right? So we got it. So when I clicked on cancel, I got it, you said no, and when I clicked on OK, I got it, you said okay. Okay, so in this place also we can make use of the keyword window, or even if we omit it, that doesn't matter a lot. Okay, we got it. So this is the main use of the confirm box. So it's not alert, it's confirm. Okay, now let's go to the next one, that is the prompt. Okay, now when I said about the prompt, this will prompt you by asking something. Okay, a prompt box is often used if you want the user to input a value before entering a page. It will ask for an input. When a prompt box pops up, the user will have to either click on OK or cancel. Okay, so in the alert we just had OK, in the confirm we had OK or cancel, in prompt also we are having OK or cancel to proceed after entering an input value. Okay, if the user clicks on OK, the box will return the value, the input value. Okay, it will return the input value. If the user clicks on the cancel, okay, it will return null value. So okay, why? So now for example, it's asking you a name and you are clicking the name, entering your name. Okay, for example Ram, and then you are clicking on OK. Then in the website you will get that name displayed. If you are not entering a name, or if you are entering a name and then you are clicking on cancel, the name will not get displayed. Okay, so here what happened here, we got a value true or false. With that we just displayed a user friendly message. Okay, always do remember, see what I said, I myself am giving something like this is user friendly message. Okay, but when it comes on this directly by getting the value from the prompt box, this is input messages, or this is also said as the one which you gave as the input will be returned to you. If you gave a null, then null. If you gave some input and clicked on OK, then OK. Now for this also we have the syntax as window dot prompt. Okay, okay, so here also I will have some text between here. Okay, let's say, okay, enter your name. Okay, here we will have two values. Okay, so now what's that two values, we'll see now. Okay, before I'll not show you over here, but I'll show you with the example itself. Okay, now let's go to the example. Okay, now see, I already have a button, I already have a heading, let it be over there, and I already have a demo. If you give some input in the input box, then here that input will be displayed, else nothing will be displayed, it will be a blank one. Okay, now here I'll change this method to prompt. Okay, prompt box. Now what I'm going to do, let this where message be itself. Now I'm going to even have another variable, and let's give, okay, now we are going to enter the name, right? So we'll write it as name. Okay, and here I'm going to give the prompt. I told you, right, for confirm you can even give initialize or declare it in another variable. So we are going to even see that example over here so that you can understand both. Okay, window dot prompt. Okay, inside this I'll write, please enter your name. Okay, and a colon and a comma. Now here we'll give a by default name. Okay, now if I'm giving it as a by default name, in the sense Let's take it as a placeholder. Just for your understanding, let's take it as a placeholder. Without this also you can do it. So for time being, I'm going to give it as A, B, C, D. Okay, why? I want someone to give another name, right? So as I am giving a by default value, if the user without entering or by changing that A, B, C, D, you will click on OK, that A, B, C, D will get displayed. Okay. Now let's see that. Okay, how are we going to get displayed? So here this is the name by default. You can even change it when you give the input. Okay, now in this, let this window, let's just take this off. Okay, and in this place I will write, sorry, name, the variable name. Okay, name is equal to null. Okay, or name is equal to like this. Okay, null, this both are null. Okay, there's no string or you didn't enter anything, and both are same. Okay, try to always have this. Sometimes even some error may throw, so always to be in a safer side, as a developer, write both the codes. Okay, so I'm writing if the value is null, or even this, what is this indicating? String as null, right? So if the value is a null, then what will happen? In this message I will say user didn't enter the name. Okay, else I'll even explain you what I'm actually writing. Else I'll write hello, and here concatenation sign. Concatenation means it will concat both the words. So concatenation sign is plus. Okay, and the name of the person, then again a plus. Okay, and let's write how you, done. Okay, now this document.getElement by id and rest all will be same. Okay, because even now we are going to fetch this one. Now what's happening over here? This basically means if I click on OK, see, sorry, cancel, I have already mentioned you. If you click on OK, then the input should come, and if you click on cancel, then the null value should come. That's the reason we are writing such a statement, because here there is no returning, it will not return any true or false, right? So in place of that, if the input which you are asking, if the input field is empty, then use, and if he clicks on OK or cancel or something like that, user didn't enter the name. Okay, please keep this note. Without entering the name, you click on OK, it will always show you null. But by default, we have something here. So in this case, it will display OK. I will even show you. If we are not having this and directly I'm clicking on OK, there's no use. It will even show you a null value only. Okay. Now let's save this and run this. Okay. Let's even change the heading. Okay. I'm going to click. See, I got it. By default, it is there. When I click on OK, hello, ABCD, how are you? We got it, right? But see, I'm not entering anything. I'm just giving this and I'm clicking OK. User didn't enter the name. Okay. User didn't enter the name. What is happening here? We are not saying true or false, but we are just seeing whether is there any input over here. If the input is there and then also you are clicking on OK, then or cancel, then also it will show user didn't enter the name. That means that you are not supposed, you gave the name, but in middle you got no, I don't want to give the name. Your mind changed and you are clicking on cancel. Cancel as well as if the input is empty. Both will get the same output as user didn't enter the name. And if you are giving the input as name and then also you are clicking on cancel, as I told you, user didn't enter the name. But if you are clicking on OK, the name will be there. Okay. So please find the difference. We are not saying true or false here. We are first concerned with whether some text is there. Yes. Now here, if the text is there, then we'll see whether it's clicking on OK or cancel. If I click on cancel, user didn't enter the name. If I'm clicking on OK, then the name will be displayed. Okay. So please see here. This is the change or difference between the confirm and prompt. In confirm, it will just see whether you are clicking on OK or cancel, okay, and it will just display you. But here it is seeing whether you are writing anything in the input value. Okay, if you are giving an input and you are clicking on OK, it will display the name. If you are clicking on cancel, it will say user didn't enter any input. So this is the three types or three different pop-up boxes which are available in JavaScript. So with this also you can interact with the user as much as you want and as at the places where you want. Don't just keep on interacting in every places, or don't just keep on giving prompt boxes in every places or alert box in every place. Just give it where it is needed. Okay, now let's see what is JavaScript variables, operators and arrays. Okay, so we are going to cover these three now. This is the first one. Then the second one is okay, the second one is the JavaScript operators. Okay, and the third one is arrays. Okay, so we'll learn about these, their syntax and everything. Okay, so we now just made of the variables. Okay, now let's go in depth of it. So JavaScript variable are containers for storing data. So keep this in mind. Okay, so let's see a small example of it and see what are they. Okay, so in this I will see an example of adding to price. Okay, so the first variable will be like price 1, the second variable will be like price 2, and the third variable will be total price. Okay, so this is the three variables which we are going to use. Before going for this, let's see some rules for having these variables. Okay, all JavaScript variables must be identified with unique names. So if you write 22 price 1 or 22 price 2, then it will be not a unique name. Please keep this in mind. These unique names are called identifiers. Okay, first one is unique names. Okay, let's give a dash so that you will understand it. Okay, second one which you should remember is that these unique names are identifiers. Okay, identifiers can be short names, okay, like X and Y, but I prefer that don't give X and Y. I have already told you, please give variables which are appropriate or meaningful names. So in place of X, we'll take it as price 1, price 2, okay, or more descriptive names like age, some. Even in this you can give like product of price of which product, like rice, so rice price 1. So these are more detailed names, but always remember to give it really very simple names. Don't just grab the names or drag the names of big larger. Okay, and the general rules for constructing names for variable, that is unique identifiers, are that okay, names can contain letters, digits, okay, then even it can contain underscore. See, I have even used it here, see, underscore. Okay, so and it can even have a dollar sign. Okay, apart from this, please don't use any of the other special characters and all. Okay, and the next rule is name must always begin with a letter. Okay, don't start it with some other special characters. Okay, name can also begin, see, please know this, also begin with a dollar sign and an underscore. Okay, but we will not use it in this place. Okay, will not take this as any consideration now, but this is for basic thing. Always started with a letter, dollar or underscore. Will not see those examples, so we'll just see a simple example, that's enough. Okay, so name are case sensitive. Okay, please take this in care. Okay, so if you give Y and uppercase Y, this both are different. It will not consider both as same. Okay, when you are giving the variable as uppercase letter Y and you are calling or or giving some value to it below in a lowercase y, no, that's not right. It will not accept it in such a words. Okay, and always take care, reverse words like JavaScript keywords cannot be used as names. Keywords like function. Okay, so we already had made use of this function, right? Function always starts with the function keyword. So you can't give this as a variable name at anywhere because it's a keyword for JavaScript, which is already predefined. So these are some of the rules for these JavaScript identifiers. Now let's see an example. We'll just delete everything and let's start it fresh so you can understand it really very clear. Okay, so this is the basic syntax or body of the HTML. Okay, now let's go. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have an heading. Okay, I'll write JavaScript and I'll write it as variables. Okay, now I'm going to have a p tag. Okay, and I'm going to give ID. Where demo. Okay, now we are going to display something in this place. So for that, first have a script tag. Okay, inside this script, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create three variables or declare three variables. Price 1. Okay, price 2, total price. Okay, see, even in this place you can directly give or initialize the values like z equals to 5, okay, and z equals to 10, or if you don't like to do like this, then you should write it like this. Price 1 is equals to 5, price 2 is equals to 10. Both are the same. That doesn't differ anything. This is just for giving. Okay, sometimes you may feel like, no, I don't want to give any input right now, but I want an automatic input like giving a name. Okay, I'll give a var name, and this name you should get it from the website or from the user, right? So in such a place you will make use of the document get element and all, and you will store that name over here. In such places you will not initialize, but now it's okay, you can initialize it in any way, and I'll write that as document dot get elements by id, and in this id I will write var demo. Okay, and dot inner html is equals to total price is the concatenation sign, and I'll write this variable name. Okay, now when I run this, I will get total price as 15. Now let's run this. Okay, it's undefined. Now let's see why. It is showing undefined because we have not defined what should happen on the total price, right? So we should tell that price 1 and price 2 should add. Then only we'll get any output. See, when you declare something and you don't give any function or any value to it, you don't assign anything, then it will always show you undefined as it has shown. Okay, I didn't did it intentionally, it happened, but even we got an example out of it also. So with declaring a variable but not assigning any value to it, and you just print it or you call it or do something, it will always show you undefined. So even let's assign that also. Total price is equals to price 1 plus, and always give space between the operators, price 2. Okay, giving a space between the operators is a programming standard or a good developer thing. Okay, now let's save this and let's run this. Okay, we got it as 50. Okay, so even in this place, see now what, so I hope you got this. Now what are we going to do is, or see is that, see I'm using 3 times where. So you can declare a variable with where and also without where. See, now I told you this is a statement. The first 2-3 minutes itself I told you this is a statement. So to end a statement we'll make use of a semicolon, but to continue a statement we'll make use of a comma. In this I will write price to, again a comma, and then I will make use write total price and then semicolon. So now I don't need this two wheres, okay. So even in this place this will work as it is. So with where means declaring it separately as three statements, and without where, just with one where means you are continuing the statements or combining three statement and making it as one statement. Statement always, you always indicate that this statement is ended with a semicolon, right? So this is how it is happening, okay. So I have ended it with a semicolon over here. So this means that this full is a statement. So inside this one statement there are three statements that we know, right? So price 1, then the statement is continued with a comma, price 2, price or total price. Even now we'll get the same output. Now let's see, okay. See, there's no difference, the same output we got. So you can initialize a variable with where, or if you are trying to initialize more than one or two variables, then you can even initialize them or declare them without where. So for that you just need to continue the statement, okay. So I have even told you, you can even initialize initialize the value also with giving is equals to 5 when you declare it, okay. So these are a few different ways. As you feel it comfortable, make use of them and do it. So this is done with the variables. Now let's go for the operators. Now what is an operator? Okay, operator is something which performs some or the other operations. So when we saw an example over here, I'm assigning a variable or value 5 to the variable price 1. So the operator is equals to assigning, right? Assigning price 1 some or the other value. So it's doing some operation between these two. So that's what it's an operator. So in this operators we have 7 different types of operators, okay, in JavaScript. Now let's see what are those and where are they used. We'll even see some examples of that and understand them. So the first most important is the arithmetic operators. Okay, first I'll just note down everything and I'll then explain you everything. The second one is assignment operators. Okay, and the third one is string operators. Fourth one is comparison operators. Okay. Okay. And the next one is logical operators. And the next is type operators. And the last one is the bitwise operators. Okay, I will tell you what are these operators one after the another, and we will even see some of the other examples related to it. First we'll see what is arithmetic operator, means what different types of operators are there inside this. So the arithmetic operators are the plus sign, that is the addition, then the minus sign, that's the subtraction, then the multiplication, that is star, and the next one is double star, that is exponential, okay. Okay, exponential, okay. And the next one is the slash or the division, and the next one is the percent, that is the modulus sign, and next one is double plus, also known as increment sign, okay. And next one is double minus, that is decrement. Okay, so these are the different types of operators present inside the arithmetic. I suppose it's 8, right? Okay, so plus is the addition, then the minus subtraction, then star multiplication, then the exponential, then the division, modulus, increment, and the decrement. Okay, we'll not see example for all of them, but we'll see some. Okay, so first let's go for this. So if you would have seen this, we already have seen an example for addition. See here. This plus is an addition. Okay, so this is an operator. I told you, right? Always give a space between operator. Indirectly, I told you it's an operator. So what is it performing? That it's adding both the variables and giving a value of sum. So now even do something like this. Now let's go for minus. Okay, so when I give minus, see, let's see what's the answer. Minus 5, because the first variable is having 5 and the next one is having 10. So greater than, I'm minusing or giving a subtraction operation for the first variable is lesser than the second. So always a minus. Now let's even give an multiplication. Now we'll get the answer as 50. 5 into 10, that is 50. Okay. And if we give division, let's even see that. What's the output? Okay, it's in point, right? Because the first number is smaller. And now let's even try to give some other of them. That's the model 5 itself. Okay. So these are the basic operations which we already know. I think there's no big difference over here. Let's even see the increment. So when we see the increment, I hope you will understand what is this increment all about or something like that. Okay, now let's try what is this increment and let's give between here plus plus. Okay, let's see whether it works over here. See, it is not working over here. Okay, now why is it not working over here? Now let's see why is it not working, and then I will even tell you where it will work. So I will even see some example on that also. First, let's see the different types of operator that are present. Okay, first one is the is equals to, then comes the plus equals to, then minus equals to, and then comes the multiplication equals to, then division equals to, then the mod equals to, and the last one, which is a bit different one, you will have 2 into signs and equals to. Now let's see example for them, and I will tell you what is this for time being now. Okay, so for now let's just understand that since as x is equals to 3. Okay, so I want, and I'm writing here x, the syntax will be like this. First understand that the variable or the operand name, that is x, is equals to, and I'm writing here 4. What does this 4 mean? That whatever variable number or value is assigned to it, let's take it 3 should be taken of 4 times square root. Okay, so that means x or 3 raised to 4. So 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So that what's a square root of 3? That's 9, right? Like that, in the same way, 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So the number which you are giving here is that many times the variable which is present inside the value which is present inside the variable will be multiplied. Okay. Now let's see examples for them. Okay, now this is a normal one. What I'm going to do here is I'm first going to show you a plus equals to, plus operator or plus assignment operator. Okay, so price of 1, then I'll write a plus equals to, and let's give 4. So what does this mean? I'm telling that the price 1 should be added with 4. So here the price 1, what's the value of price 1? It's 5, right? So 5 will be added with 4, that is equals to 9. So 9 plus 10 will be 19. Now let's run this. Okay, see, we got it right. So what is basically happening? We are just telling that this should be added with 4. So this means that value should be added with 4. In the same way, we'll do it for minus also. So 5 minus 4 is 1 and 1 plus 10 is 11. So please do and understand this concept. The value which is present in the price 1 will be minus by 4. Okay, will be minus by 4. If it's a plus sign, then it will be plus by 4 or else minus by 4. Okay, now let's save this and now let's run this. Okay, it's 11, right? So in the same way we can do it for division or even mod or multiplication also. Okay, now let's even see that also. So when it's about the multiplication, I will say 5 into 4. I'm telling that price 1 should be multiplied by 4. So 5 into 4 is 20 again, right? So let's go and for it. See. Okay, right. 5 is 20 and plus 10, that's 30. We got it as 30, right? Okay. Now let's even see the next one, that is the division. Just for your understanding, we'll see each and everything. Okay, so the 5 is divided by 4 and then plus 10. See, it's in dot or in decimal, because this 5 by 4 will lead to decimals, right? Okay, so this is how you get it. Okay, you can even do it for multiplication also. We have done it. Now what are we going to see? 2 multiplication signs, that is 2 star. Now as I told you, this 5 will be multiplied by itself for 4 times. When I say itself means 5 will be multiplied by 5 itself. That's why we say 5 will be multiplied by itself for 4 times. It's like a square root, cube root, fourth root, right? So when we say square root, what is it? 5 into 5. So if I write here 2, then it means square root. When I write here 3, it means cube root of 5. Now I am writing 4. So 4 times we are going to multiply 5 by itself. The fourth root of 5. Okay? Okay, we got it 365. If you like to verify it, let's even verify it with the calculator. So what I say, 5 will multiply itself for 4 times. So 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. 625. And see, we got 635. Why? Because this 10 is added. I hope you got this. So this is the use of, we are saying the square root, cube root or the fourth root. So the root is being considered over here. So this is the assignment operator. Okay, so assignment operator assigns values to JavaScript variables. So that is the basic assignment operators. Okay. Now let's see the next one, that is the string operator. So there's no such n number of operators for string operator. The only operator which is there for string operator is plus. String operator or plus is also known for concatenation. So sorry. Okay, concatenation. So I think we saw this in the in prompt, right? So we just said hello and then ram, something like that. So that's where we concat two strings or two numbers or something like that. So when we make use or make this use in place of two numbers, it will add. But when we try to make use into variables to like string or string and number, something like that, it will always concat them or join them. Now let's see an example for this also. Let this all things be same as it is. Okay, so we'll not do any kind of changes over here. What we are going to do is let's have two variables where, okay, I'll write text1 is equals to, and let's write hi, I am Ram. Okay, and in the next text I will write how are you. Okay, so this is what. Now what are we going to do is we are going to concat this. So always have a semicolon in the end. Okay, so for concating I'll write document dot get element by id. So for this we'll even has to create a p tag or something like that. So let's create a p tag. Okay, and I'll give the id as let's give it as concat. Okay, so by id concat. Okay, dot inner HTML is equals to, now this is where we are going to think what we are going to write. Either we will write text 1 then plus text 2, or see, or what are we going to do here is we'll just add a plus over here, because we have seen what this plus does, it adds both, right? So even that will have hi, I am Ram, how are you. Okay, now let's see without this plus. Okay, okay, hi, I am Ram, how are you. So even here the concatenation took place, or else as I told you, we'll not declare any variable over here. We'll say t1 plus, and here we'll display t1. See, we got the same output, right? So there's no difference over here. What is happening? We are just combining two strings. You can even combine two values. Okay, so if I put here as 5, let's just ignore this. Okay, and I'm putting it as 5. Now see, okay, 5 and how are you? And please do remember, even a space between here will be calculated. See, if I don't give, the 5 and how will be together. Okay, but when I gave a space, they both are separated as two words. Okay, so this is where a string operator takes place, or where you want to concat two variables or values, something like that, and you can always make use of a string operator. Okay.